All right, team, let's get into it. We're about to tackle one of the most important, high-scoring topics for your CUET biology paper, hormones. If you want to lock in some guaranteed marks, you are in exactly the right place. Let's do this.
So, why are we talking about hormones? Well, because this isn't just some random chapter. It's an absolute goldmine for marks. Seriously, questions from this section show up all the time, and they're usually pretty direct. Easy points, but only if you know the concepts. So stick with me for just the next few minutes, and I promise you're going to walk away with a crystal clear game plan to completely own this topic.
And let's just talk numbers for a second. We are looking at a potential 8 to 12 marks from this one single topic. I mean, think about what that means for your final score, for getting into your dream college. Mastering hormones isn't just an option. It's a strategic move that's going to boost your rank. So let's get these marks in the bag.
Okay, first things first. We need to build a solid foundation. What in the world are hormones, and what's their big role in our bodies? Let's break it down, simple and clear.
I want you to think of hormones as the body's internal email system. They're these little chemical messengers made by endocrine glands, and they get sent out directly into the bloodstream. From there, they travel to specific places to deliver important instructions. For your exam, you got to remember these three keywords: chemical messengers, endocrine glands, and bloodstream. Got it? Good.
So what makes hormones so special? Let's look at their main features. First, they are crazy powerful. They're produced in tiny amounts but have a huge effect. Second, they're super specific, kind of like a lock and a key. A hormone will only work on a cell if that cell has the perfect receptor for it. And what do? Oh, just the small stuff. Managing growth, your energy levels, and keeping your body's internal environment stable. That big word is homeostasis. They basically keep the whole show running smoothly.
Now, a really smart way to study hormones for CUET is to group them by their function. This table right here makes it super easy. You've got your metabolic hormones like insulin, which manage your body's energy. Then there are growth hormones for development, reproductive hormones, and of course the famous stress hormones like adrenaline for those fight-or-flight moments. And lastly, the homeostatic ones. They're the quiet heroes maintaining your body's delicate balance.
The other way you have to organize this for your exam is by the gland that actually makes the hormone. This right here is a hot topic for MCQs. For instance, the pituitary is called the master gland because it tells other glands what to do. Your thyroid, that controls your metabolism. And the adrenals handle stress. This link, gland, hormone, function, I'm telling you, it is everything for your exam.
Okay, so we know what they are, but how do they actually work? How do they get the job done? Well, the good news is, for CUET, you don't need to know all the deep, complicated biochemistry, you just need to get the basic logic.
It's actually a pretty simple, elegant process. First, the hormone travels through the blood until it finds its specific target cell and binds to its receptor, just like a key fitting perfectly into a lock. This binding action is the trigger. It kicks off a chain reaction inside the cell, which leads to the final step, the response. The cell basically does what it was told to do. That's it. Binding, trigger, response. Simple, right?
Okay, so how does the body know when to stop making a hormone? This is where feedback regulation comes in, and this is a very important concept. Most of the time, the body uses something called negative feedback. Think of it like the thermostat in your house. When the room gets warm enough, the heater turns off, right? The effect stops the cause. Positive feedback is the exact opposite, and it's way more rare. It amplifies the response. The classic example is in childbirth, where more oxytocin causes more contractions, which in turn triggers the release of even more oxytocin.
All right, the foundation is built. Now for the really fun part. Let's get your exam toolkit ready with some awesome memory tricks, a little bit of practice, and the common traps you absolutely have to avoid. In a high-pressure exam, being able to recall things fast is your superpower. So check out these little tricks. For the pancreas, just remember, I for insulin lowers, G for glucagon raises the blood glucose. Easy. The thyroid is your body's thermostat. And the parathyroid? Just think P for phosphate and calcium. These are simple, they're effective, and they will save you precious seconds. Seriously, write these down. Okay, time for a quick pop quiz. This is a classic CUET-style question. Read it carefully. Which hormone is the fight or flight hormone? Go ahead and pause here, think about it for a second, and lock in your answer. And the correct answer is C, adrenaline. If you got that right, awesome job. Adrenaline is your body's emergency responder. It's shot out by the adrenal medulla to get you ready for immediate action.
Insulin deals with sugar, thyroxine is for metabolism, and growth hormone is for growth. So C is our winner.
Let's try another super common format. Match the following. This really tests that gland hormone function connection we talked about. So match the hormone in column A with its right function in column B. Same deal. Pause here and solve it yourself.
Okay, let's check those answers. Insulin lowers blood glucose, so 1 goes with B. Melatonin regulates sleep, that's 2 with A. Testosterone is from male characteristics, so 3 with D. And that leaves thyroxine for regulating metabolism, 4 with C. How'd you do? Mastering this kind of table is absolutely non-negotiable for a top score.
Now listen very carefully. This slide is critical. These are the traps that students fall into year after year. The number one mistake, confusing insulin and glucagon. But you have our mnemonic now. People also mix up the two parts of the adrenal gland. And please, please don't forget that the pituitary is the boss and that thyroxine has a double role in both metabolism and growth. Avoid these mistakes and you are already way ahead of the competition.
Whew, we've covered a ton of ground. Before we wrap this up, let's do a super fast 2-minute revision to really lock in the most important facts. This is your final check before the finish line.
So the absolute must-know points are: hormones are chemical messengers. The master gland, it's the pituitary. For blood sugar, remember, insulin down, glucagon up. Metabolism is controlled by thyroxine. The stress response involves adrenaline and cortisol, and the main control system is negative feedback, which is all about maintaining balance. If you can recall these 6 things under pressure, you're in fantastic shape.
And there you have it, your complete game plan for mastering hormones for CUET. So how did you do on those practice questions? Be honest. Drop your score in the comments below so you can track your progress. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Let's conquer this exam together. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you in the next one.